Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome
Alan.
welcome to this week's You've Got a Thing.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having us.
So hello, Susan. Hello, Lisa. And hello to everyone out on the web. I'm Alan Piotrowicz. I'm with Cooperative Performance. I am your guest host for this week's episode. It is my privilege and honor and absolute delight to welcome Artistic Director Suzan Fete and Managing Director Lisa Rasmussen from Renaissance Theaterworks, who are opening a show tonight.
Yes, very exciting.
Yeah, we are opening Actually by Anna Ziegler. This is the second show we've produced by Anna Ziegler. We produced Photograph 51 that Suzan directed a few years ago in the before times.
Yes.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah. So tonight's preview and tomorrow night, which is the 12th of March, is the official opening. We have a 4 p.m. preview and an 8 o'clock opening, and there's still some seats. So
party afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and speaking of the before time, I hear this is actually the second go round for Actually.
Actually, yes.
Yes. Yeah. This was the show that we were in rehearsal for and had just had our designer run 2 years ago next week when the pandemic forced us to cancel. And we were able to make a video recording and we're really happy and proud to have had that. The cast has changed completely since then. And Mary McDonald, stalwart creature that she is still at the helm and doing just a beautiful job. Our production features Ava Nimmer and Preston Tate Jr., and they're wonderful in this, at least a coming of age story, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, in today's world, you don't come of age at 13 or 15. You know, you have a lot more life experience and then you come of age. So this is 18-year-old college freshman at Princeton and navigating completely new waters. You know, they're overslept.
Underslept.
Underslept. Yes, they haven't slept. No sleep. And overwhelmed and full of alcohol and, you know, hormones. And then add all that up and they're away from home and what happens, you know, and what does it mean and who decides and who's right and who's wrong. So I think the script is so beautiful because it's so nuanced and you can completely understand and feel for both characters. Even when, you know, something they say is cringeworthy, you love them anyway, you know, just like people you know. So I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and the way you remember yourself. Watching this play during tech, it's almost, it makes you remember too well what it's like to be 18. And you think everyone is paying attention to every little thing that you do, and you're mortified if you say the wrong thing or don't wear the right. And in truth, they're all focused on their own, what are they doing wrongness, you know? And it's sweet and heartbreaking. And I really love both of the characters, and they get into a situation that anybody with any, you know, it's while you're watching it, at least for myself, I keep wanting to say, no, don't, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. You're going to be sorry. And then of course,
That's a beautiful thing when there's that intensity of connection between the audience and the characters, that you're like, no, you want to influence the outcome. You want it's that, you know, idea of shouting at the movie screen as if you can change the outcome. Except it's live, so we can hear you.
And we found on that in the theater, just so you know. Yeah.
Slightly muffled because we are still wearing masks for the entire run. Everyone needs to wear a mask, and everyone will have their vaccine card checked at the door unless they've pre-registered or seen our show in the fall. Then they're all set to go. They just check in with their name. So we are maintaining our masking and vaccine proof protocols through the run, and the run is tonight through April 3rd. So we have 4 weekends of beautiful shows.
Yeah.
And since last time when we were doing this in 2020 and the world shut down, and it was so funny because everyone was afraid to touch the elevator buttons, but no one was wearing masks,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So many things have changed. So
Right.
many things have changed.
I know.
We filmed a rehearsal, and that was the last thing we did in our old space, which was the studio theater at the Broadway Theater Center. So it's a new cast, it's a new building, it's a thrust stage, so it's completely reblocked in a totally different way. And yeah, Mary, Susan, and I are the constants.
Right.
I feel like you want to put it into a song. It's like it's the same play in a new space with a new cast.
Right.
So
Bump. Yeah.
So how is working and sort of having new artistic home in the Next Act space treating you guys?
Yeah. So
wonderful.
It's 255 South Water Street, home of Next Act Theater. It's kind of where Water Street wanders along the river in the Harbor District by 88.9, the 88.9 building. It's wonderful. They have been such kind and thoughtful partners. When we were figuring out how to write a sublease with them 4 years ago, we never anticipated paying rent through a pandemic and not producing theater in person, with an audience for so long. So we really leaned on each other in a beautiful way in a terrible time.
Right.
And it really brought us closer. So I really appreciate David and the whole team at Next Act, and Jessica Connolly, who's usually their stage manager, is actually stage managing this show. So we're already starting the swapsies, which is really nice.
And we had been partners with Next Act. When would this have been? Like 22 years ago, I think. We had been producing at the Off-Broadway, and David and the whole Next Act team, when we started in the mid-90s, they've been so kind and supportive the entire time, so yeah, it's nice to have friends.
It's funny you mentioned that. I remember doing a changeover at the old Next Act space on Water in St. Paul, and somebody wandered in with tickets to a Renaissance show, and they were like, "We're here," and everything was struck, everything was down on the floor, and we're like, "Oh, you need to go to the Broadway Theater." So it's kind of funny. We've come full circle.
Still happens. Yeah.
Just somebody's in West Elm. West Elm is now in that building. They're wandering around like, that's a nice vase, but where's the theater? I don't know.
I've had people walk into the studio booth with tickets, trying to see a show at the Cabot. So it's insane.
Right. During a show. Yes.
During a show. So, but no, it's so great that you guys are there in this. I love that space. I've gotten to design there multiple times, and it's a pleasure always being there. And I've had the good fortune of working with Renaissance a couple of times, and it's always a wonderful process. So I can't say enough good things about both the process and the work that you guys do. So, and I think that's apparent too, with filming this show and releasing it as sort of a digital production, unintended almost. You filmed the rehearsal and released it. What was that response? I see you guys got really positive response from it. Obviously, that's why you're bringing it back.
You're asking what was that like?
What was that process like? But also, like, you talk about the intensity of these characters and the connection. I guess, how weird was it to be like, okay, we're putting the work out digitally, and so now there's that disconnect, and it's like people are having that same visceral reaction.
Yeah. I mean, the recording was in the original production, it was Emily Fury Daly, John and Gail Daly's daughter, and
Justin Jones.
Thank you. And so
it's okay, Susan. It's been years. It's
oh my God,
literally.
And,
what is time?
And Justin's dad was able to come up from because you know how it was. It happened so fast.
Yeah.
And we figured out that we could make a recording of it. We could get a team in. Traveling Lemur came and just saved our butts, and
as they often do.
And
they are also
not
amazing.
only our butts, a lot of people's, and they so we figured that out in record time, and then John and Gail were able to come see Emily, and Justin's dad was able to come and see Justin, and that was the audience. Lisa and I didn't watch because it was 10 people in a room.
Yeah, because remember, it was like, don't gather more than 10 people. And we're like, okay, but we won't wear masks because we didn't know.
Well, we didn't have masks.
No one had masks.
I mean,
right.
They weren't available. So
the guidance back then was to not, because they were concerned about the supply issues.
Right.
Yeah, and wash your hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is always good advice.
I mean,
yeah,
I was washing my hands before then, like a sucker.
So it was weird, but everything was so weird that it was just one more weird thing, in retrospect, I'm really glad we have it because it was so beautiful. I don't know.
I was thinking about this because I stopped in the office and saw the old set design that we, Tony Lyons, our technical director, had mostly built. It was the week before tech, but it was at his shop. So we filmed it on an empty stage, on an empty black stage at the Studio Theater without the set. And I saw the model of the old set, and it was a lot more, there were a lot more sides to it because it was a black box. And so now the production, because it's, a thrust stage, is much more open. It's just table chairs, a couple things. It's all about the people and the words. And that's kind of how we filmed it. When we filmed it by accident, it was 2 people in a room.
I hadn't thought about that. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. And so, and I think that connection with what they're saying and how the stakes are so high and you care about them and you just want to be like, hang on. Whoa.
Right. Yeah. Maybe put that glass down.
Yeah. The connection in the playwriting is so strong that it did translate in a way we didn't expect, in our snap decision to film it. And I think that connection came through, but I'm excited for people who saw the recording to see it live and people who didn't see the recording to see it live, because that connection is there, and that's what it's all about. So in that 90-minute, I mean, it's a short play, it's a one act, no intermission. It just, you're in it, and
it's like a train.
Remember theater when you're just in it with other people?
And in the thrust space, we can look across, we can look to the side, we can see each other.
The people are there. They can't hide. Yeah.
And we can see them if their masks slip.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Be warned.
Segue there.
Yeah. And the actors are doing a wonderful, wonderful job. Ava and Preston are just amazing. It's Preston's Milwaukee debut. So we're really excited. He's come up from Chicago. Really excited about that. And Ava's just luminous and wonderful. And Mary has done, I think, just an amazing job. I'm so proud. So everyone, please come see it. And I think you'll be happy. Well, not happy through the whole thing, but happy that you've been out and seen a great show.
Yeah. No, it's that journey. You're right. It's that weird sense of like, you'll be happy you saw it, even though there'll be that complex arc of emotions pulling you through. So
yeah, it'll definitely be one of the plays where you want to talk about it, over dinner or afterward. I don't know. I think it sticks with you. And
yeah, I think so too.
I should ask, are you guys doing talkbacks at all during the run, or?
We are. We're doing 2 talkbacks. This coming a week from tonight is our first one, and then 2 weeks after that. So that's March 18th, and then
I have it right here. The 18th and April 1st, April Fool's Day.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, you.
For this show, we have some wonderful community partners, which we're really happy to shine a light on the good work that folks are doing to help combat and treat and care for sexual assault victims. So we're partnering with the Women's Center in Waukesha, Red Gen, which is about mental health for the next generation. The City of Milwaukee's Office of Violence Prevention, which is underneath the health department, and
Team Teal
365, and they're the keepers of Denim Day in Milwaukee, which raises awareness of sexual assault. And there's a Denim Day worldwide, so they're the keepers here. So we're so wonderful. We're so happy to get to know these partners and to welcome them to our space and introduce our patrons to their missions and vice versa. So they'll be present at the talkbacks. At least 2 or 3 of the 4 groups will be represented at each talkback, and they'll be able to share, how the play does or does not relate to their work and what their work is, and how people can get involved and support the good work they're doing. So
that is so awesome. I am just blown away by the amount of connections that you guys make in the community and the relationships that you build. It is just absolutely wonderful. So thank you.
Ellen, thank you.
That means a lot, because it's always really we could have made one more you're always like, we could do, we're trying to do more.
Right. Why didn't we do this? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to take a minute and say, this is pretty good. So
yeah, I think it's important to recognize that, one of the things we try to do with theater is it's not just about, we talk a lot about the process. We talk a lot about, design. We talk a lot about, because we know the practice of it, but it's wrestling with the larger themes that is really why we do what we do. So I think that reaching out to the community and making those connections from, the page to the stage to the audience to the greater world is just as important. So kudos.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's impressive.
Thanks, Alan.
So I do want to also talk about, just because I'm keeping an eye on the timer, you guys are about to announce your 30th season.
Yeah, I know.
And Suzan's one of our co-founders, so she's seen it all, because she started the company when she was 0.
Right. It was 0.
I started in preschool.
That's right. It was a Girl Scout project. Yeah.
So next year,
she's almost got that merit badge.
I know. Just keep trying. Another
35 years. 35 years.
One more community partner.
and I'll dangle that badge forever, Suzan. Yeah. So yes. So next fall is the beginning of our 30th season. So we haven't announced it yet. We're announcing it on March 30th, the end of Women's History Month. And if people don't know,
get a whole month.
Yeah, 1 month, and then we're
right.
Done.
Exactly. The other 11, I think, whatever.
But as your, the audience may know, we're the women-founded, women-run theater here in town, and we're the second oldest nationwide with a mission toward gender balance and gender parity. So that's pretty exciting, and I can tell you we're doing 3 shows by women next year, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And bumping up Milwaukee's average for women playwrights produced a little bit more, like we've been doing for almost 30 years, because the nationwide average is not good.
It hovers around much.
Yeah, hovers around
much in 30 years
or 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
It hovers around 20% of plays produced are written by women. So we're just bumping it up for Milwaukee, but anyone could do it. Join us, everyone.
Right, exactly.
The water's fine. So, do you want to talk about the 30th at all, Suzan? Don't tell.
See, that's the problem. Is
I was gonna say,
am.
can you like dangle like a hint or like?
Well, we're doing some really cool collaborations, and we will be participating in World Premiere Wisconsin,
Yes.
in the spring. So we'll be doing one world premiere, at least.
Nice.
Yeah.
And World Premiere Wisconsin is a program. A bunch of the professional theaters around the whole state are producing a world premiere in their season or as a reading between what months is it, Suzan? Is it like March to June, something like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Of 2023.
So.
So we've all agreed to produce a world premiere and then mark it together and kind of make a passport so people can see new work at a bunch of different theaters, Door County, up north a little bit, Madison, Milwaukee, all over. So
if I fill the passport with all the stamps, do I get a prize at the end?
You get 3 hugs. No, I think there will be prizes.
We'll figure something out.
Here's a private world premiere.
Right. Right. This is another ambitious project that was started in 2018. 18 or 19?
19 maybe,
19? And then, but again, it was really wonderful because we were all meeting about the project and we had a place then to talk about how we were all managing the pandemic, so.
Yeah. We zoomed hard among some of the theaters in the state, which was really nice to have that. Are you experiencing that? Me too.
Right.
I mean,
right. Can you get any contracts? Me either.
Yeah. Nobody knows anything.
Right.
Given all that, make a plan.
Right. Make 5 plans.
Right.
And budget for them all. Yeah.
But that's great that not only was there the time to sort of develop that project as well, and sort of let it incubate, but it provided sort of an impromptu forum to address the other things going on.
It really did.
So, And I think this is really an important time to be looking at new works. Aside from the pandemic proper, we saw a whole bunch of social movements that are sort of refusing us to go just settle for normal. We should be building back somewhere else. Something better. And I think producing personally, I think producing new work that speaks to the now is a very important piece of that. So kudos. And again, I am just constantly in awe of the work you guys get to do.
Oh, gosh.
So, and I'm proud to have been a part of it in the past. So thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, Alan, thank you. I will never forget you and, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the costume.
Jason Orlenko.
Yeah, when we had I forget, it was some catastrophe.
Was it a polar vortex or something?
I don't remember, but we had there were 1 million people from UPAF that showed up and thought they could get tickets. It was Lettuce and Lovage.
It was it like Final Dress or?
It was preview. And we had it was really a catastrophe. We had no ushers.
Too many people, not enough seats.
And, and I remember I turned around the corner to see how it was going into the theater because I was dealing with something in the lobby, some catastrophe. And there were you and Jason passing out programs, and I burst into tears. I know. It was so sweet, and it meant so much to me. And you were like, we lift up our seats. Yeah.
We'd seen it by that point. So.
I know.
Well, Alan, that makes you a real Renaissance woman when you look around and you're like, well, gosh, that needs help. So thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Come on in.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Because it's one of those things that no matter how big the company is, the minute that, anything can and will happen in theater. So everybody pitches in. And that's
exactly.
Just the way it should be. So I I know Jamie Lynn has some things to plug, and I don't want to. I know you guys have a lot to do before you open up for a house tonight. So I just want to sort of wrap up and thank you guys so much for taking time out this morning to talk with us. This was the easiest interview to run. You guys just ran. I could listen to you guys talk all day. So
same, back at
Thank you. Yes, right back at you, my friend. See you soon.
Happy preview, happy opening, and may the houses be full.
Thank you. You too.
To their limited capacity.
You too. Happy opening.
Thank you.
Break legs.
Yeah.
White rabbit, red rabbit, white rabbit, red rabbit.
Jamie Lynn, are you there?
I am. I just want Suzan and Lisa to know that I did try to share the graphic for Actually, and the Google said no. So screw you, Google. That's what I have to say about that. No, it does this thing every once in a while, and it's like you need to update your settings and da da da. I'm like, I didn't change anything, so that's
it says no.
But if I've done this before, like I did what they said to do after I ended a program once, and it shuts down your browser window, and so I can't do it while the interview is going on, because then the interview would end, and so
the nuclear option of the interview.
And I also did like a workaround one of these times, and I popped it into a different window and everything, and then I was able to do something. You know what? Technology is great, and then sometimes it's just it needs a swift kick in the pants, is what it needs. So I don't know.
You thought you were going to put up the graphic, but the browser was like, actually. No.
You did it! You made it happen!
I stuck it in there.
You did it! You smarty pants! You know how to make this happen. Oh, what a goofball! All right, let me see if it'll let me share this PDF. Let's try that. Nope, it's just going like meow. I wonder if I could share my screen. I wonder if then. Nope. Google says.
Will it let me? What's on the list?
I mean, I could. Should I email you the PDF real quick, and maybe you could?
We'll do this. We're doing this super live.
We're doing this super live, and nobody cares, but we're just gonna do it anyway.
Oh wait. Okay. I think, is it gonna let me
share your screen? Probably not. Nope. No, because this thing does not let you do that type of
Oh, weird. I have it as a window at the bottom, but it's not showing you the ability to. Okay.
Should I print it out real quick and hold it up?
Yes. As it comes off the printer, just hold it up in front of the thing.
Yeah. I'm being serious here because I think it's super important to show the graphics of these small companies and whatever. It's just something that I'm super passionate about. So
this is what we were just talking about. When things go wrong, we improvise. We make it work.
Improvise the crap out of things. And thank God my printer is right next to my area.
My Lord.
I'm here for this crap, Alan. I'm just here for this crap.
So if anybody's watching out there live and you have random questions that you would like us to answer, put them in the comments.
Yeah, yeah. If you have any questions out there, I'm still game to give you all the answers you can possibly need. I mean, I've listened to enough podcasts to know that this stuff happens all the time. So anybody that tells you anything different, they're filled with lies. Awesome. Okay, we can do this now. At least
you have them already?
My printer technology.
That printer is fast.
All right. So the first one we have here is Cooperative Productions is presenting We Are the Drum, just like you all. It's one weekend only, over there at White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. Capita is a great organization that stands for City at Peace in the Arts, and their whole mission is to really promote healing and community through theater. I've seen bits of this performed, and the voices on that team is just something to behold. So they're doing live performances this weekend. There's also the opportunity to get virtual programming for your school, for your community center, for all of these things. So you can go to capitaproductions.com to check those folks out. Then we have White Rabbit, Red Rabbit that we were talking about. Can you pronounce that playwright's name for me, Alan?
Nassim Soleimanpour.
Awesome. This is 1 weekend only. You are actually, because you're the host this week, which means you were the guest last week. You can go to last week's episode to hear like all about it, but it's 1 weekend only, as you were just talking about before, and it's 5 performances.
5 performances. We have a 7 o'clock tonight. We have a 4 o'clock matinee tomorrow, a 7 p.m. tomorrow, and then on Sunday a 2 p.m. matinee and a 5 p.m. Evening show. And it is a different performer at each one. So we did a tech rehearsal last night where we ran through everything just to make
do the tech for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't know what it's going to be like each performance because it's brand new. So I cannot tell you how excited I am to walk into the space tonight and go up and introduce Samantha Beich, who is our performer for our opening, and hand her an envelope and just sit back and watch.
Do it. Do your magic right now. Improv the crap out of it. No, I think it's a super cool concept. And so, happy opening to you all, and just like, Renaissance, happy opening to them all. You can go to cooperativeperformance.org to check that out. And also you can find that on Sunstone Studios, mke.org. .com as well. Next we have Milwaukee Opera Theatre has a voice lab coming up next week on Wednesday. This is what they say is hopefully their last virtual voice lab, as we are all struggling with our minds to know what is right about coming out of this pandemic and things. And everybody's like, some are freaking out, some are not. But so that's what they say about this. It's a virtual voice lab is it's sort of like whatever you want it to be for singers. Bring in like an audition thing. If you're nervous about singing in public, that it's a great feedback program. And Danny Brylo and artistic director Jill Anna Ponasek, who's also a co-creator of this program, will go through that. And then also the people that come can give feedback as well. So, but really a supportive, love-filled environment, for people, for singers to improve.
It could be virtually anything.
There you go again. Actually it is. Yeah. All right.
If somebody sang well in the shower, could they if they think the acoustics are best there, could they like zoom in from
what I understand, because I have severe like anxiety about singing in public. It just something about the ability to screw up more than acting. You know what I mean? Like acting, you can kind of cover things up, but singing, you mess up. Yeah. So my fight or flight response is just like, don't do it. Don't do it. So
if you start messing up at the virtual, you just tap the mute button. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, my connection. Oh no.
Yeah. But I think they said that you can send in stuff beforehand.
Oh, cool.
To Danny beforehand, and do it that way, because some people just sing better in the car. But you can go to MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org to find out more information about how to connect with them over there. I have it on good authority that next week, Babel by Jacqueline Goldfinger is opening next week at the Broadway Theater Center studio, where Renaissance used to be, from the Constructivists. And the Constructivists will be on next week to talk about that. So, yay. I forgot to ask Susan or Lisa if they were going to host next week, because that starts to get a little squishy. Or maybe Katie from Pink Umbrella can come and host if, whatever. I will work it out. I print things off in the middle of a program. I will make it work to bring all the intel for you all out there. So you can go to theconstructivists.org and find out more information about. I should say it's a dark comedy, like set in the future-ish, and resources are depleting, and in an effort to save humanity, they've instilled this legislation called pre-certification. And we talked to some people who are going through fertility right now, like freezing eggs and things like that, and it's eerily similar to testing genetic things and all this kind of stuff. And I've talked about it a million times before. It's a thing that's close to me because my daughter was born with a genetic disorder, and so there are several times when I cannot help but, because of the connection, tear up and maybe dribble some things out of my eyeballs a little bit, but maybe you won't. I don't know. Everybody's different. So anyway, so some people will be on next week to talk about that. I do want to always give a shout out to Imagine MKE, who offers up this platform for us to use and get the word out about all this stuff to you. A wonderful organization here in Milwaukee doing very, very hard work to advocate for all of us in the arts to make things better. But all we ask is that hopefully you will do a little bit of advocacy yourself and use your voice to talk to your representatives to let them know that it's important to you. So you can go to imaginemke.org/act for that. It's Women's History Month. I'm sure you know a woman. Thank them for all their womanliness. Google Women's History Month. Find out why it's important. Yeah?
For a second, Jamie Lynn, I thought you were going to say, if you don't know a woman, Google one.
If you don't, I just want to meet that person. I want to meet that person who does not know a woman. But have we gotten there? Have we done it yet? Have we done it yet? No, we have not fully grown a human yet. No.
I feel like we would have heard about that in the news.
Well, I'm just saying that we might not know about it.
True. It'll be the subject of a constructivist play next season.
That's exactly right. I've watched enough Marvel to know that enough shit happens in government facilities. Come on. Captain America, come on. I do have to say clearly, because I'm a nerd, that I've been watching Endgame obsessively for whatever. It's connecting with me right now. I think it's the fighting the good fight thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like just feeling like no matter what, no matter the adversity, no matter how outnumbered you are, to keep fighting. I think that's a really connective thing with theater people. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. We keep doing what we do because we truly believe it makes a difference.
Yeah.
That putting art, putting words, putting conversation into the world can inspire action and change. I think if we didn't think that, we wouldn't be long to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, because there's only so long that it's self-sustainable to be only doing it for yourself in this art. I think everybody at a certain point in time, or its age or whatever it is, comes to the realization that the reason that they're doing it, while it's self-fulfilling, is that it's purposeful. It's purposeful to the community. Hence why I say theater is public good. Hence why I'm grateful for Imagine MKE, because they also feel like the arts are a public good. And we just have to keep going and do better. Yeah?
Agreed.
Well, happy opening to you, Alan.
Thank you so much.
And you have off today, and you have somebody coming to visit, I thought I saw. And
yes,
my
things. A shout out to my partner Jason, who actually just got here right before we started the broadcast today.
Yes.
He flew up from Florida. We have a wedding to go to tomorrow, and a shout out to two very talented Milwaukee actor, playwright, designers, Liz Shipe and Sean Duncan, and congrats on their impending nuptials tomorrow. So if there's a bunch of theater people that you don't see at the theater tomorrow, it's because we're all celebrating.
Well, but then they'll go and see your show next weekend, right? Then all of those people will get their butts into all respective shows next weekend. Yes.
That's true. Other shows next weekend, or our show on Sunday. We close on Sunday.
Right.
One weekend.
They'll make it happen, I bet. Thank you again for hosting, Alan. And,
my pleasure.
And happy opening again to Renaissance and fighting the good fight for the community on all they do. And as I said, the Constructivists will be here next week with some host, somehow, some way. And we'll see you next week on You've Got a thing.